BankonME, the reality show that means business. Coming to you from Scotiabank Barbados. Your host, Alex Jordan.
Hello and welcome everyone. Well, only 2 more elimination episodes left until the finals. So you can imagine just how intense this competition is right now. Last week, 6 became 5 in a closely fought marketing and digital media challenge.
I'd like to ask Sean, please, to step forward. You will be the 5th contestant going forward.
And today, one of these hopeful entrepreneurs will say goodbye to their chance of winning Season 2 of BankonME.
Absolutely.
The mentors were also on hand at the workshop hosted by Fund Access, preparing the contestants for today's export challenge.
For the last 12 years, I had a business that all we do, you would not see any of my products in Barbados, is export. It's a difficult thing to do, but I was trained in that, and that's what I did. And I hooked up with people that I went to school in New York with and had distributors. So it's a relationship thing. For instance, my company that we export all the condiments in Barbados that you could think about. And I don't have a factory. Do not. No, I won't want a factory either, because I got to manage people, pay national insurance, and do all that. And I'm too busy to do that. Rose and LaFlamme, they do my Morby. But when he sells 10 cases, I only sell 2. I do taste testing every year in the US, and people tell me, boy, you're getting close, you're close to Rose and LaFlamme. It's the same thing though. It's the same product. No brand takes a market or be recognized in less than 5 years. And when 5 years is now starting to grow. Always remember, and all you all who start in businesses, never see this business as a business for you. Correct. You have to reinvest. A guy can have a business and every year he tries to go into Disney, he got SUV, he got all kinds of things. The business cannot carry it. It just cannot. And you should be developing a business for succession planning and the 2nd and 3rd generation. We don't do that. We develop a business, my boy dead, it dead. When you exporting or in business in general, you must be honest with your client and everybody. If you cannot get a job done that day, tell them, look, I know I had you scheduled for today, but I can't give you back your car today. You may want it. Do you want to leave it overnight? Not many persons show up and say, well, we ain't get to your car today and all that. Those things happen.
Make sure you have a good distributor and make sure that you know the market. Visit the market. We have the mentality that we must buy everything from China. But we have to change that mentality and just believe that we could do it. If you can avoid having to handle the product, I mean, if you know it's going to go straight to someone in Trinidad, there's no value really to bringing it to Barbados if you can get it sent directly to that customer. We need to try and make sure that our distributor meets the same standards that are expected of us when we're distributing product for foreign companies down here. Eventually, you have to trust somebody to look after your product in the market, because you just can't continue to do that level of intensive investment forever. But you know, you have to understand the market first before you can do that. I think for a lot of us, we need someone to help us build a brand. If you have a very well-known brand, like, I don't know, Shirley Biscuits, maybe everybody knows Shirley Biscuits, but even the same with Bisco, if they launch something new, they need someone who can work with them to build that brand.
You're asking the company or someone to give you $100,000. What gives you the confidence that a person will actually pay for that service?
Our service also acts on our location. We call it an imaginative hub. It is our location and what we offer. We have 3 main streams of revenue, which is the services, as in the reading sessions, storytelling services as well. So we would offer packages to schools, and then the commission off of the book sales.
My question to you is, how are you maintaining the administrative side of the business?
Currently have an accountant.
Okay.
I've hired an accountant, a private accountant. So he has done my financials for 2012, 2013.
Okay.
And he will do it for 2014. Unfortunately, my wife, who is the other director in the business, and a qualified accountant, is finding time is hard. to find to do that.
Okay.
So I decided to hire a company to do that. In order to push the business further, I need to work more on the business than in the business.
In terms of the 90,000, it's 90,000 like that.
Correct.
Asking for it. Do you find that your operational costs, are you able to keep that under control?
Over the last couple of months, I've worked actively to reduce my monthly operational costs, and I've now reduced that by about 40% to what it was last year. So yes, I have total control over that now because of some deals I've negotiated with suppliers, and because generally I have a better knowledge now of what the trends are in terms of market, what the peak times are, that kind of thing.
The judges for this week's challenge are James Husbands, Managing Director of Solar Dynamics and longtime exporter, who we welcome as one of our guest judges this week. Regular judges, Mr. Eddie Abed, Ouida Morrow, and Richard Haynes. And our second guest judge, Mr. David Levine, Managing Director of Exotica Condiments, specializing in the export market. The Export Challenge is next.
More great cities just got closer. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard is now even better. Fly to New York, Miami, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale with just 20,000 Scotia points. With your new Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard, you'll receive a welcome bonus of 10,000 Scotia points, so you can enjoy the cities you love most sooner than ever. Apply by March 31st. Call 1-800-744-2672 or visit your nearest branch. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
On the road to success, what you wear says a lot about where you're going. At Abed's, we have the fashion look in garments and fabrics that are perfectly suited for your journey. The definition of chic, the power of elegance, the look of high fashion, inspired and fabulous, the cutting edge of fashion. So get dressed for success at Abed's, the cutting edge since 1964.
Do you provide accommodation for tourists and require financing? Are you in need of debt restructuring, facility upgrades, business continuity, improved cash flow? Or are you trying to avoid foreclosure? The Central Bank has the answer with the Tourism Loan Guarantee Facility. Contact us at the Foreign Exchange and Export Credits Department. Telephone 436-6870.
In the Export Challenge, contestants have to present an exciting export strategy. The best four will go through to the next round. The judges are ready, so contestant number one, you're on.
The film industry in Barbados is possibly the most untapped industry when it comes to export potential. Now, our export strategy will be executed in three main phases. In phase one,
film festivals and trade fairs.
Additionally, in phase two, we're looking at niche markets. Now, we acknowledge that there are over 22 million Caribbean persons in the United States alone. Additionally, we're looking at school video libraries across the globe. We recently made contact with a distribution company in Australia, and they were telling us that they are interested in Caribbean films. And we're also looking at stock footage. Our third phase is distribution.
Distribution and agents. Radix will partner with specialized agents in the UK, US, and African markets that market world cinema and specifically Caribbean cinema. We will also be looking at linking with distributors, worldwide distributors such as Caribbean Worldwide, Caribbean Tales Worldwide, who for the last 5 to 7 years have been setting up channels to niche markets throughout the globe. Radix will be ready to, and Mr. Abed, I want to say that we've gone back to the drawing board. We have looked to put Radix in a better position to start as a company and are looking for investment in company rather than production to put us in a place where we can be ready to export in 12 to 18 months. Our products for export are documentaries, fictional series, and feature-length films. For us, modifications for us and our product is subtitling. And with one premium account on Vimeo, that gives us full access to professional subtitling services for free.
You have so much going on right now, and yet no income. That concerns me.
So I'm not clear in terms of if you understand what the demand is in terms of what you want to export.
We do see ourselves as pioneers because yes, all of the mechanisms are there. People are already making films. We think that there is a problem with the cinematic style and the language that is carrying over, something that's stopping Caribbean films from making that step. And we don't know what else to say, but we are going to be those pioneers that are going to break that barrier and they're going to build that bridge.
We believe that within the next 3 years, we can export our product. We would start with the smaller markets like St. Kitts and Dominica and Grenada. Larger markets like Antigua and St. Lucia, we would look at a little further down the road. The product and service that we are exporting are specialty transport, where we transport disabled persons. We're also looking at competition. There might be 1 or 2 others out there who are doing transport, but they're not doing it like us. So we have to differentiate ourselves. Our product or service doesn't require modification. We don't need the modification because they say we have 4-wheel drive vehicles which can take care of the terrain, and we also use diesel vehicles which is better for that type of environment as opposed to the gasoline vehicles. In terms of the intellectual property rights, what we are looking at is that we will take our logo and register it as a trademark. Now, in terms of what we think will differentiate our product, the equipment, the experience, the personalized service, and our brand values. In order to do projections, it was a little difficult. What I tried to do is I looked at my first year's sales and just say take 50% of that as a projection for the first year in these markets. Entry strategy, we're going to research market, look for the demand of the service. We're going to create partnerships and alliances in those markets. We're going to use the partnerships and alliances we have now, for example, the Foster Knits and so on, to help piggyback basically and use that relationship to help get our foot in the door. We can do our SWOT analysis so that when we get there, we're ready, and we're going to develop an export plan.
You said you took 50% of your first year sales.
Yeah.
But I think you would agree that that is not going to be enough. Where are you going to get the additional finance to get the service going in that export market?
The funding will either have to come from the business here, or when you BankonME, I will get the funding.
There's a big buzz recently as it relates to photovoltaic systems, but solar thermal energy has been penetrating successfully throughout the markets in the Caribbean due to a great deal, the great part of Mr. Husband's and Solar Dynamics. Realistic time frame for us is January 2016. Our target market will be Antigua, St. Vincent, Dominica, and to a lesser extent, or the last place we will seek to go to is St. Kitts and Nevis. Mainly because they have a serious building boom going on, especially in the hotel industry. Our first stop, this country in the middle, Grenada, because we've already started forming relationships with strategic alliances in Grenada, which I will say a little bit more on as we go a little further in the presentation. It's up to 50% in savings with our solar thermal unit. The harder it gets, the better it works. Hindrances or issues that we might face in Barbados, we have duty-free, we have VAT-free concessions on these solar thermal systems because they're renewable energy. But in some of the other territories in the Caribbean, they don't have the VAT exemption, they don't have the duty-free concessions. Worst case scenario, it brings our price on the same as the standard air conditioners. Sales projection for the first year, we are looking at just over $125,000 in revenue. We've already identified the top renewable energy company in Grenada, Grainsol. Don't care where you are from, no matter your culture, everybody is looking in this time to save electricity. And the product that we offer is energy efficient, but there's also the significant environmental factor.
We have an original Caribbean arrangement which allows you exclusivity to distribute the brand across the region.
Other people could bring in solar thermal units, but we would have the exclusive right to the sun cooling brand.
How does the system work?
The vacuum tubes absorb heat, as opposed to PV panels that need direct sunlight. It works in any position, any location in the house. That's why we say you are guaranteed at least 40% savings. In the ideal location, then you will get about 50% savings.
On the road to success, what you wear says a lot about where you're going. At Abed's, we have the fashion look in garments and fabrics that are perfectly suited for your journey. The definition of chic, the power of elegance, the look of high fashion, inspired and fabulous. the cutting edge of fashion. So, get dressed for success at Abed's, the cutting edge since 1964.
In life, a man should have two things: a well-tailored suit and a great car. There's only one company I trust with my vehicle: Shine Vehicle Care Center, the best in vehicle care.
Irie. Irie.
Irie Foods, however you say it, Jamaican for real.
Irie Foods restaurants for authentic Jamaican cuisine. Dine in or take out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the 2nd Avenue Dover location. Take out only at Worthing.
We definitely want to focus on export by expanding the Shine reach throughout the region through branches and a franchise model internationally. And we are about to sign off on a deal to launch our very own auto care line manufactured right here in Barbados. We are still about 24 months away from actually having our proven concept ready for the exportation. And we realize that there's a significant profit in the value-added services amongst the affluent demographic. Our research for this type of consumer has led us to territories such as the Bahamas, Bermuda, and of course the Cayman Islands. We projected that in our first year we should be able to attain about 3% of the market share in each of these territories, growing to 7 and 15%. Our export strategy is first and foremost to set up a strategic alliance in these territories with persons who understand the industry. Our product line will not only add value to the bottom line, but through the retail distribution chain, allow us to be able to enhance the brand perception and also attract new business. And of course, one of the strategies that we have in terms of the export as well is to be able to establish linkages with organizations such as the used car salespersons in these territories, such as the new car salespersons in these territories. Additionally, our competitive advantage comes from the use of the products that we produce. So we want to be able to customize our services then to be able to set up pop-up shines, as we want to call it, where we're actually going to the workplaces in the various car parks or surrounding areas and set up our workshop and be able to operate and provide the services that the consumers demand. We started to do a pest analysis to try to understand the political, economic, social, and the technological parameters of these territories we want to enter, because we want to make sure that we protect our rights as a company as it relates to the trademark registration and our business process. Revolutionary, I think, is absolutely.
Dario, you're not reinventing the wheel, but these pop-up shine stores, if they don't not driven with the same personality as you, the confidence that you exude, what would separate them from your competitors?
I think the fact that we could customize the services based on the territory. So first and foremost, I need to go in and do the research, understand the consumers in the various territories.
This is the story of Smart Arts Room and their challenge to export. One day, while the founder of Smart Arts Room, Janelle Mitchell, affectionately known as Auntie J, met with her business mentor, Gracie. They were having a chat about branding, which somehow slipped into exporting. Who? Auntie J exclaimed, "Isn't my business too young to be thinking of exporting? I mean, we've only been in business for 6 months now." Calm yourself, my dear. You're at the perfect stage to start your export plan for the next 2 to 5 years. Auntie J's fingers conversed with Mr. Google, and he pointed her in the direction of Caribbean Export Development Agency. She also conducted the export readiness quiz, which revealed she was indeed ready. But the next phase was to plot a sound export plan. Oh, I love the idea of exporting our services at Smart Arts Room to St. Lucia. I mean, the country is just a skip, a hop, and a jump away from Barbados. How was she going to get into this market? She started searching for strategic alliances and made a note to seek further legal advice where intellectual property rights were concerned. She projected export sales to be around $100,000 US over the next 5 years.
Very good. Absolutely, very good.
Got my attention.
Smart.
That was a wonderful way in which you demonstrated your product without having a tangible product in front of us. But tell me what you're going to do.
What I'm going to do, I'm in the process of writing books. As you see, this was written last night, so this is a part of, yes, this is a part of what is going to come on stream. I want to publish a book next May, which is going to be our first year anniversary.
Technology today is very accessible. And then secondly, maybe you want to think about an app that captures all of your energy. That you can have kids, interacting with one another around the world and seeing your product, right?
Thank you very much for mentioning that.
I want to know, Janelle, about a revenue stream. You're going to St. Lucia. It's going to cost you money. It's a virgin territory. In terms of you don't have to develop it. How are you going to pay for this?
Same lady who I was talking about creative strategic alliances. I want to speak to her in terms of having them cover the finances for us to come in between trips, as well as seek some funding as a promotional tool in terms of doing crowdfunding.
How do the mentors feel about their charges presentations?
I think they forgot to mention that they have an order already from a large international agency who wants them to make a film for them in Barbados, bringing in foreign exchange.
I think we did well. There were a few fumbles and so on, but I think for the most part it works out, and I hope the judges can see the value in the film industry growing in Barbados.
I think you did well. We rehearsed quite a lot this week, and we had a clear strategy in place to bring it home. I think he executed very well.
Yeah, still got a few butterflies in his stomach, but primarily I think it went pretty good, to be honest with you.
He saw the presentation, and from our discussions after, he think that everything went well.
I am on the same path as Michael. My mentor did have to leave early as well, but I know she will be definitely happy because I did exactly what we spoke about, and I think I got in all that I needed to. So
I believe that my mentor would definitely be proud. The hard work was really in the preparation. I just had to deliver, and I think I did what I was supposed to do.
We'll see if the judges agree.
I don't think they did enough work on the market entry strategy and how they're going to finance the business.
It's a little bit of an unpolished diamond. They have so much to bring to the table. I'm just not sure if they're there yet.
His approach was strategically sound. It's just obviously end result was the wrong market.
Yeah. So when it came down to being granular and being quantitative, that did not come across clearly.
I think the consensus with all the judges today is that the person not going home is.
More great cities just got closer. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard is now even better. Fly to New York, Miami, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale with just 20,000 Scotia points. With your new Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard, you'll receive a welcome bonus of 10,000 Scotia points, so you can enjoy the cities you love most sooner than ever. Apply by March 31st. Call 1-800-744-2672 or visit your nearest branch. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Back. A little more.
Some people do ridiculous things when they can't see what they're looking for.
Okay, perfect. I'll have the grilled lobster, please.
Find new glasses, optometrists, all you're looking for in the Barbados Yellow Pages. The Barbados Yellow Pages.
Do you provide accommodation for tourists and require financing? Are you in need of debt restructuring, facility upgrades, business continuity, improved cash flow? Or are you trying to avoid foreclosure? The Central Bank has the answer with a tourism loan guarantee facility. Contact us at the Foreign Exchange and Export Credits Department. Telephone 436-6870.
Not long now until we find out who stays and who goes. But before we join them, a reminder to vote on Facebook for your favorite contestant, and there's lots of really great behind-the-scenes photographs for you to enjoy. We'd love for you to like us. Well, the contestants are ready, and they all know that even if their BankonME journey comes to an end today, they will have benefited greatly from the experience in many different ways. Judges?
Well, today, contestants, we witnessed some very excellent presentations, and I think that you all covered the challenge in many ways, looking at labeling, packaging, some logistics and relationship marketing, and then most people looked at the market and its strategy. At the end of it, when we did our discussions, the safest person that I would say that we think that covered all the areas and made a presentation that has a lot of legs going forward is the company whose brand is Shine.
Second person, called by the individual, to go through and be safe this week is Michael Holder of Blessed Rentals. Michael, we feel that you did a pretty good job in identifying the key points that had to be addressed in order to take your product from Barbados to an international market. In particular, your synergies when you were talking about hotels that you were going to work with that were already established in various territories and so on. Yeah, so congrats, man. Thank you, man. Yeah.
All right, our third contestant going forward to our next challenge would be Radix. You look so surprised. Lovely to see that surprise though. You guys understand your product. You know your product. And your presentation, that was very obvious. Well done, though.
We're down to the last two contestants for this week. One of my personal favorites is Janelle. Your strengths as a storyteller and as an entertainer, I think we're all impressed by it constantly. And today's story surely showed us all why we're so emotional about it. But we felt that your pitch lacked depth in explaining the financials and any possible linkage, perhaps, using interactive technologies like apps. It was definitely shallow in those areas. Maybe it's a little too early in your development to look at exports. I don't know. I'm just not sure if you did enough to get through today.
I want to talk a little bit about Sean's presentation and the support material which you brought to us. We want to commend you for your efforts in saving consumers money and energy and saving the country money. That is very laudable. There are a couple of things which we felt would have strengthened your presentation. One would have been third-party information on the actual savings, and another one is the question of separation of the air conditioning load. So when we say 40%, for example, of consumption, is 40% of the air conditioning, which is probably 20% of the overall load in a home or an office, or 30 in an office or 40 in an office. So that was one of the areas that we thought would have been useful. You should perhaps develop your own brand and seek to develop relationships with manufacturers in China so that you have the continuity of supply and you develop your own individual brand as the technology expands. That would not limit you. So those are my thoughts.
Sadly, one has to go today, and that person, we strongly feel, needs to consider getting some more mentoring, hone in on their strengths, build on their strengths, and ultimately be reminded of the fact that they were the last 5 of BankonME. Janelle, you're that individual. Thank you for participating, but you won't be going through. Sean, congratulations. You're into the final 4.
High drama indeed. BankonME?
Absolutely. I've gained so much exposure from being on the show alone, from being on your Facebook page, all of these workshops, building a network with all of the contestants and the judges, and being able to quote-unquote develop my brand some more. So it has been a great, I'm so telling you, it has been a great experience.